Hey everyone, and welcome to the first video in our three-part series about how to remix a game. In this first video, I'm going to be getting you started off, and in the following videos, Kari and Carmen are going to show you how you can even take that game even further. So the first thing I want you to do is go to MakeCode.com, and it should bring you to this website, and then I want you to click on Arcade. And the next step is we are going to be remixing this side scroller game right here under multi-part tutorials. So if you haven't done this yet, I want you to stop the video right now and go through this tutorial. And then come back and then we will get started about how we can add extra things to the game you just made. Okay, so I'm counting on that you've done this already. And then what I want you to do is just kind of open that game up. And your code may not look exactly like this, but it should look something similar to it. So we can jump right in and kind of think about ways we can edit this, add some game elements, and that way you can earn some prize tokens. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sprite and I'm going to edit it. And we can do that a couple different ways. So I like this car, but I want to add it, make it a little bit cooler, and I'm going to add kind of like a jet engine to the back of it to make it just a little more customized for my taste. So what we can do is increase the size. I think I'm gonna go even bigger. Let's go 24 pixels. And you can do this down at the bottom. But I wanna build something off the back. So a really handy tool is the marquee tool. And you can then select what you want. And then you can move it where you want. Okay. Next, I'm going to grab this pen tool. I'm going to kind of make something for like the jet engine to come out of. And I'm going to draw some flames. Coming out in my back of my car. Spice things up a little bit. And some blue in there. Okay, that's looking pretty good to me. Let's see how it looks on the screen. And when it refreshes, there we go. Perfect. The other thing too is I wanted to change like the spikes that were made in the original. Before we were just using the kind of one that was pre-built, but I was thinking it'd be cool to make our own. So I'm going to click on the tile map, and I'm going to go to My Tiles, and then I'm going to click Custom. And I'm kind of going to stick with this flame theme. So what I want to do is I want to draw, so I want to keep the spikes, but what's scarier than regular spikes? Spikes on fire. So that's my thought. So I'm going to kind of do roughly draw these out. And this one over here doesn't look so great. So let's fix that. And we can add some blue. Again, make it look cool. And I'm just going to add some red. Okay, I got my spikes, and then I'm just going to replace them where I had my original spikes at. I think this is kind of a short. So if you go in the bottom left hand, you can change the length of your tile map. So I'm actually going to increase, I'm going to like make it 3 times longer and add some more things to it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to erase that finish line, and then I'm going to go back to my row tabs. use the line tool, and I'm just going to keep adding more road. And then we can go back to our tiles and let's add more spikes along the way. Let's undo that one. Perfect. The other thing I want to do with my tile map is, so I made a pretty basic finish line for my first one, but I want to make it look like it's going into something, and maybe that way it can kick off another level. So maybe Carmen or Kari will add another level to this game in their remix. So I'm going to kind of give them that option. So I'm going to go back to my gallery and the forest, and they have the kind of this cool cave looking thing. So I'm going to add this. It looks like the car is going into like a cave. Perfect. And the last thing we need to do is then add our, oops, not that far. Add our roads, or add our walls, so that way our car can drive on top of them. And we added, so let's erase our wall right there, and perfect. So now we have, so to recap, we added a custom tile. So we should see our flame spikes. We made our level longer. We added a rocket kind of to the back of our car. Cool. So now we need to change these settings right here. So we want the spikes. If you hit the flame spikes, you lose. And if you enter, let's say, you come in touch with this black, you then win the game. All right. So we got a pretty good remix and some new gaming elements to our game. So last thing we want to do, I wanted to add some like more background stuff. I thought it'd be kind of cool to add some clouds going across the across the top to our game to kind of make it a little more cooler. So let's do that. Okay, so we want to create some clouds and we want them to come from the right to the left. So what I want to do is create a projectile that comes out, and we want to do that on a certain amount of time. So I'm going to use the on-game update. On-game update, any code that gets put in here will execute every 500 milliseconds, which right now is half a second. So I can increase this to a second. Let's just try this one for right now. And I want my cloud to be what they call a projectile. And I want this projectile to come from the side with a certain amount of speed. So VY controls up and down speed, VX controls left and right speed. So I'm going to turn this off because I don't want the clouds to move up and down. And then I'm going to edit this VX. So a positive number for VX will make it go from left to right. So if we want to go right to left, we're going to use a negative number. And clouds are pretty slow, so I'm going to make it a low number. And then I'm going to draw this cloud out. looks pretty good. Nice happy cloud. And you can see our clouds all the way at the top. We don't want them to be that high. We want them to kind of be at random locations. So an easy way to do that is if we just use a random. But we need to tell our sprite to go to a certain spot. So I'm going to do this set my sprite. I'm going to change this projectile, and then I'm going to change Y, because we said Y controls up and down. And then I'm going to go to math, and I'm going to get a random block. And so Y starts at 0 at the top and it goes to 120 at the bottom. So I don't want it to be at the exact top, so I'm going to say, let's say 20 pixels down. And we don't want them to go all the way down, we want them to be kind of high, so I think 50 is a good number. And there we go. So I think that's pretty good. I think I might increase the speed though a little bit, maybe half a second. And I'm gonna change this maybe to like 180, so it's not jumping. Looks like the car's getting kind of close to the clouds. Let's play test this again, see where we're at. All right. Everything is looking good. All right, and these are some easy ways you can remix your game, just changing your tile map, changing your sprites, adding projectiles either as an obstacle, which we didn't really get into today, but you can also just do it as a decoration, and creating custom tile maps. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our second video where Kari is going to remix my game and add even more gaming elements.